Yo, Adrian. Dun 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 dun. I hope I'm not sued for doing a little bit of the theme song to Rocky. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to y'all as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you another review of the Rocky franchise. This time it's Rocky 2 from 1979, written and directed by Sylvester Stallone, who once again plays the title character. Also back along for the ride in this film, released by United Artists, are Talia Shire, Burt Young, Carl Weathers, and Burgess Meredith. And of course, I forgot to bring these guys up in my review of the first one. Robert Charloff and Erwin Winkler are back as the producers. Anyway, this film was pretty big, and why have you. Now, the Ring Magazine Heavyweight Championship belt makes its first appearance in the series. So, I'll go ahead and get into this. Now, of course, if you recall in the end of the last movie, well, Apollo Creed said, "Won't gonna be no rematch. Ain't gonna be no rematch," he said, and Rocky's like, "Don't want one." And apparently, Apollo has successfully defended his title in a split decision. But anyway, soon that the ambulances come take them to the hospital and everything. The same hospital, actually. Well, despite their mutual agreement not to seek a rematch, Apollo decides to challenge Rocky again. Now, another thing I forgot to bring up in the first movie review is Rocky's known as the Italian Stallion. Yes. So, apparently, Rocky thinks Paul's messing with him. It's like, is he serious? So apparently, Rocky declines and decides to retire from professional boxing. However, Adrian supports his choice, as do his doctors, who reveal that he will require surgery for a detached retina, a condition that could lead to permanent blindness. In a private moment, Rocky goes to see a recuperating Apollo and wants a truthful response to his question of whether Apollo gave his all in the fight. And he confirms he did. After Rocky is released from the hospital, he enjoys the benefits of his life's changes. Rocky's new fame attracts an agent who sees him as a potential endorsement and sponsorship goldmine, and his sudden wealth encourages him to propose to Adrian. So, she happily accepts and they marry in a small ceremony. And soon after, Adrian reveals that she's pregnant. Now, before I go on, I do like this here, the thing where Rocky's trying to do this commercial for aftershave. I mean, some hard to drill with him, with his accent and what have you, and when he's can't get the lines right, oh boy. Meanwhile, while being fueled by hate mail claiming he fixed the fight in order to protect his reign as a champ, Apollo becomes obsessed with the idea that a rematch is the only way to prove that Rocky's performance was simply a fluke. Because after all, he was impressed with him in the fight and what have you. But, well, determined to rectify his boxing career's only blemish, Apollo ignores all pleas by his friends and family to forget about the fight, and instead demands his team to do whatever necessary to goad Rocky out of retirement. Apparently, he seems unaffected by Apollo's smear campaign, But his inexperience with money causes him to run into financial problems. After several unsuccessful attempts to find employment, Rocky visits his trainer and manager at his gym, Mickey Goldmill. And taught the possibility about fighting again, but Mickey declines out of concern for Rocky's health. But he soon accepts after Apollo publicly insults him. And Adrian confronts Rocky about the danger of returning to the boxing ring and reminds him of the risk to his eyesight. But Rocky argues that he knows nothing else, so this is the only way he can provide for them. Adrian, now furious at Rocky for breaking his promise, refuses to support him. Well, Mickey's watching TV and sees Apollo threatening Rocky, so he comes to say him, it's like, I think we should knock his block off. Rocky's like, absolutely. But Adrian calls out with an unhappy look. Rocky's like, I'm sorry, Adrian. So, he and Mickey get out to do training. Unfortunately, Rocky's unfocused due to Adrian's disapproval and stuff. Trying to hit the big bag, punch him out on top and what have you. Lots of other things. And especially trying to catch a little chicken. Yeah, he's wearing his worn out gray sweatshirt and sweatpants and what have you. Yeah, it's like, this guy is greased lightning here. You need to be more quicker to get to him. And Rocky's trying, well, despite Adrian's approval, he just can't do it. What's the matter with you? Mickey's like, and Rocky's like, I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot. Yeah, that's another one of my favorite moments from this. Meanwhile, however, Polly, Adrian's brother, confronts her about not supporting her husband, but she faints during the confrontation and is rushed to the hospital where she goes into labor. But despite being premature, the baby is healthy, but Adrian falls into a coma. And Rocky blames himself for what happened. So, he refuses to leave her bedside until she wakes up, and will not go to see his new baby until the baby can be together with his mother. So, when Adrian comes out of her coma, she finds Rocky by her bedside, and the couple are shown their new baby, a little boy, which they name Robert Rocky Jr. Adrian gives her blessing to the rematch, and Rocky quickly gets into shape for the fight. Yeah, really gets into shape. We hear the Rocky theme song and see Rocky running down the streets and all these kids joining in on him, which that was pretty cool and all. Now, actually, about a few years later, the Kid Stuff Records company actually put out books and recordings of Rocky. Unfortunately, none of them were actually based on movies, except for one of them, which was Rocky vs. Clubber Lang, but it was unfortunately loosely based on the Rocky 3 storyline. Now, you can actually find those stories on YouTube, actually. Just look them up. The Rocky vs. Clubber Lang story is pretty good, and, well, of course, it uses a different chime signal for turning the page, but unfortunately you don't get to see the illustrations and words and why. You just get to hear the story and nothing else. Sorry. But here's other stories. Rocky's Guide to Sportsmanship, Rocky and Friends, Rocky Saves the Day, and that's it. There's 4 stories I can find. Okay, now I'm going to get back into the story, but now I will tell you to stop this video. You have 5 seconds if you've not seen this vid. If you've not seen the movie, then go to the time as I finish after I am done with the ending, if you've not seen this, so you don't get spoiled on the ending. Here we go with your 5-second warning. Okay, you've been warned. Okay, now it's Thanksgiving, the night of the match. Apollo makes a public goal of beating Rocky in no more than 2 rounds to prove the first match going the distance was a fluke. So Rocky, fighting right-handed to protect his eye instead of his natural southpaw, is knocked down twice by Creed and outclassed for much of the fight. As with their first fight, this match goes to full 15 rounds, by which time Creed is well ahead on points and only needs to stay away from Balboa to win the fight by decision. However, Creed, not wanting the fight to end like it did the first time, ignores his trainer. Let me see, what's his... I needed to know his trainer's name. I forgot who that was. That's another one I forgot to bring up. Oh yeah, Tony Evers, or Duke, who's played by Tony Burton, who is actually like a father figure to Apollo. Anyway, and attempts to beat Rocky by knockout, but in the final round, Rocky switches back to his natural stance and in dramatic fashion unleashes a series of counter punches on Creed, turning the tide. Well, Adrian and Polly are home watching the fight, what have you, so apparently both men are exhausted, trade punches until they knock each other down. As both men struggle to regain their feet, Rocky is able to will himself up at the count of 9 while Apollo collapses for exhaustion, giving Rocky the win by knockout, making him the new heavyweight champion. Yeah, Mickey and the rest of his crew were really thrilled. Adrian and Polly were happy as well. So Rocky then gives an impassioned speech to the crowd and holds the belt over his head with a message for his wife. And before I get to it, I mean, he's just happy, and I love it when one of the guys in the crowd is like, "We love you, Rocky." And he's like, "Yeah, I love you too." and he's like, "This is the greatest night in the history of my life." And well, says he's thankful that he's done it and for his son being born. And then the end he's yelling, "Yo, Adrian! I did it!" Yeah, Adrian was thrilled, and well, Rocky gets a bank pennant by Mickey, and that's the end. Now then, here we go with the recommendation. Okay, now, would I recommend Rocky 2? Hell yeah! This is a good sequel. Now, I love this just as much as the first one. But anyway, but it kind of surpasses it just a wee bit. But nonetheless, I love both movies for certain reasons. Anyway, I think the story was pretty good. It only had a few hits or misses. More hits than misses. The cast was once again outstanding, what have you, and believe me, with old Sly Helming not just portraying the title character, but taking on the writing and directing in the franchise for the first time ever, that was very impressive, I must say. Anyway, oh yeah, and Bill Conti, who did the score for the last movie, I do believe. Yes. Yeah, I forgot to bring him up in my review of the first movie. Yeah, he's back as the composer for the soundtrack to me, and it was pretty good too. I have to give credit for that. Of course, we get, well, let's see. Of course, the theme, Gonna Fly Now, which that's still good, just as the one we hear in the first movie. So anyway, I think Rocky 2 is worth looking into. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. But you'll have to take my word for it. But I think you'll really like Rocky 2. So anyway, that's going to do it for my review of Rocky 2. Now, what did you think of Rocky 2? Is it your favorite of the franchise? Tell me if it is, or if it's one of your top faves of the franchise. Let me know in the comment section, please. Like and subscribe to my channel as well, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me again tomorrow when I review the next one, Rocky 3 from 1982. Now, if you liked what you saw, I'll give only one video recommendation for you. Go to the upper right hand corner and see my recent review of the first Rocky movie, which I did recently. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe for more with more of the Big D. Thank you again for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.